Aloha, everyone, and welcome to part 3 of the football season, the hiring and firing season. So far, a few coaches have been fired and a couple have been hired, but most are sitting around figuring out just what they can get. I'm Steve Murray, and this is the worst program on the internet, sports. And yes, this is my Blues cap. Now, for those following the news out of Ann Arbor, head football coach Jim Harbaugh has been interviewing with the Los Angeles Chargers while at the same time negotiating his contract with the University of Michigan. This you probably already know. Now, reports are that the university is ready to lock up Harbaugh for 10 years to the tune of about $12.5 million per season. Not bad, but again, not necessarily new news. But according to Dan Wetzel of Yahoo.com, Harbaugh's looking for a contract that is, let's say, unique. He's looking for more than just an increase in per diem, I can tell you that. So he has a couple contract demands, I'll just say that. Now, number one is he's looking for the start date of the contract to be February 15th. Why? February 15th would be after the typical NFL hiring cycle. And if Harbaugh decided to leave the university for an NFL job, that would reduce his buyout to the university. So, for instance, currently under his current deal, his buyout was $2.25 million. After January 11th, his buyout dropped to $1.5 million. So the dates do matter. Now, reports are that Michigan is looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of a $4 million buyout, but, those things are negotiable. Now, one thing is interesting is Harbaugh is looking for, I guess, the contract to really include a list of any potential punishments and fine should any further NCAA violations or investigations occur. So if the NCAA starts asking questions, Harbaugh wants to know exactly what he can kind of look forward to. I think that's kind of smart. Now, of course, the item that everyone is talking about is he's looking for a guarantee that will prevent the university from firing him for cause. Now, to be clear, when someone is fired for cause, that means they violated some terms of their agreement, and then the university is then able to fire them without paying the remainder of the contract. So it's kind of a big deal. Now, should Michigan try to fire Jim Harbaugh for cause, the case would then go before a 3-person arbitration panel who would then make a decision. Now, these types of hearings are common when it comes to university executives, but has not been included in a coach's contract to date. Now, of course, Harbaugh can always get fired for performance reasons, lose 4 or 5 straight to Ohio State, and you can show him the door. However, Michigan would be required to pay the remainder of his contract. And that's kind of how things have always worked. Now, of course, this story has invoked the typical responses, especially if you're living somewhere, say, in Lansing or Columbus, Ohio. I've heard people say, why are you asking for a guarantee, Jim, if you're innocent? Waving their fists in the air. Look, I'm not going to talk about that kind of stuff. I try to stay away from morality plays because, 1, it's just useless, and 2, I just don't care. This is about negotiation and really nothing else. And say what you want about Harbaugh's strategy, it's actually quite smart. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really change anything. Now, first of all, anyone who enters a negotiation will try to use their power. They're going to leverage their power to get what they want. A young assistant coach has no power, so they're basically going to take whatever deal gets slid across the table. However, win a national title and be courted by an NFL team, as he said in Seinfeld, then, my friends, you got hand. You got lots of hand. And of course, Harbaugh is going to ask for everything he wants, and he should. He doesn't trust the NCAA, and let's be honest, the organization has had a hard-on for Harbaugh for quite some time. Now, they most likely won't vacate any victories, but further, say, suspensions and fines are quite likely. And really, it's up to the university to pare down his wish list to whatever they think is, acceptable. But let's be clear. If there is a real NFL offer, Michigan only has one choice, and that's to pay Jim what he wants, accept all of his demands, or see him walk out the door. Now, earlier I said this Harbaugh contract won't really change anything, and here's what I mean. It's very difficult to fire people for cause. Most contracts do have morality clauses, but at the end of the day, what are morals? There's no real clear answer. I mean, I guess there was for Mel Tucker, but I think he's more of an exception than the rule. And while there may be, well, in fact, there are coaches across the country who, let's be honest, just don't like Jim Harbaugh. If Harbaugh does re-sign with Michigan, if Harbaugh gets everything he wants in his new contract, soon every coach in the country is going to have similar language in their deals. So yeah, you can say, Jimmy, you're a bad boy. But at the same time, you're going to say, hey, Jimmy, thanks for getting me paid. I'm Steve Murray, and once again, I want to thank you for joining me here on this program. Please do me a favor. Go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe as well. Shoot me an email or post a comment. Let me know what you're thinking about this topic and others. And of course, here comes the plug. If you're looking for more poorly produced online content, don't forget about the other program, Worst Program on the Internet, The Blues, where, of course, you'll pretty much always see this gorgeous cap. I thank you again. We'll see you soon, my friends. Take care.